Hi, I'm Brian Best, owner and founder here at BestMacs. Yep, it's my last name, not just a humble brag. On most meetings, I'm interested in hearing about you, about your company, and your IT challenges. But this will be a lot more one-sided than that. Here I'm going to talk you through BestMacs processes, what it's like to work with us, so you can decide if it would be worth making this a two-way conversation. At BestMacs, we do things differently than most IT service providers. Businesses like yours do better when your technology just works. And so our goals are aligned with yours, including our billing. We don't charge any extra for labor time. No matter how long something takes, no matter how big the project, it's just included. And partially that's because I don't want my living to be based on somebody having a bad day with their computer. I don't want you or your team to have any bad days with your computer. I want things to just work. But that begs the question, how do we provide you value when you just don't have that many problems? Well, this is how. We call this our best plan, as opposed to best laid plans. You know how those go. We start with 27 points around your infrastructure, your security, and your managed support and services. And pretty easy to read, right? Green, red, yellow. Green is great. Red is a problem that we really want to get fixed. Yellow, room for improvement, but it might stay yellow forever because it's just not applicable, or maybe the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And when we get done greening up the 27-pointer, then we graduate and we go to something I didn't make up, but is an industry standard 56-point checklist. And if you can green up everything on here, you become a hard target for bad guys, for cyber criminals. Some of these we can do without you. We just install stuff and boom, it's green. Some require your team's participation, and so we'll work with your team, implement things, train them, help them out. And some things are going to be collaborative between you and me, like working on policies together, because I don't believe in one size fits all. We could start with a template, but then make it something that works for your company. We can do this best plan standalone with step-by-step on the most important projects. That way, it's an easy way to get to know us, get to know if we work well together, one-time fee, no commitment. Now, obviously, we hope you'll hire us to do this, and if you do, we'll credit you the cost of the best plan. Sometimes we do these to determine a fair quote. Sometimes, if you and I agree that this is a great fit, we'll just do this during our onboarding. Speaking of which, okay, so let's say you reviewed the best plan, you like it, we quoted you a fair price, you think it's great, you're ready to go. After we sign our service agreement, which you can see a sample of here on the site, the next thing we do is inventory. And you can see how we track inventory in our inventory site. First, we look at your people. And often this involves getting admin access to your Microsoft 365 environment or your Google Workspace environment. Then we look at your devices. And usually this is us talking to each of your people and asking them to install a management tool. Maybe takes about 5-10 minutes of their time for each person once we get in on that. More on the management tool in a sec. Once we match up all the devices to all the people, we can show you this inventory. Our services agreement is defined around what we call endpoints. And an endpoint is defined as a person and their computer that's assigned to them. Now, sometimes you have people who don't have computers, but they have an email address and they need cybersecurity awareness training. Well, we treat those what we call half endpoints, a person without a computer, and thus they're half the price of an endpoint. And we have computers without people. These might be shared devices that aren't assigned to a particular person. They might be spare floater machines. They might be network equipment or servers. Again, half endpoints. Now, speaking of tools, if there's something important that we feel you must have, like backup, like endpoint detection and response, like cybersecurity awareness training, we bundle it in our quote. So you don't have to worry about the expense of that. We bundle it, we pay for it, we include it in the service because we feel it is essential. And in the case of a management tool, like say MDM, the trick is we build it for you We manage it, but you own it, because it would be really disruptive for us to take it away should we ever part company. That's our policy. Disruptive, if we were to split, anything disruptive stays with you. I just hand you the admin name and password, remove my credit card from the payment system, and it's all yours. Your people stay working. They don't notice the difference. Enhancements come with me. So certain things like, say, the EDR tool, I can take that away. Your people probably won't notice it's gone. Now, obviously, they're less secure, but if we're parting ways, that will be your responsibility to handle from then on out. But enhancements come with me. So one thing I can guarantee you is that if there's technology, there's going to be problems. The question is, how many of those problems do you want to have? If you're DIYing or you've got really poor IT, the amount of problems you're going to have is way up here. Our aim is to get it way down here so they're few and far between. But it's just going to happen that people are going to need help with their computers. So we make this really easy. On every computer we support, we put our B menu. And on a Mac, it looks like this, our green B BestMacs logo up in your menu bar. And on a Windows computer, yep, despite our name, we do those too, it's down here in the taskbar. When you click on it, you'll see a menu appear, which, in addition to some social links and some helpful content, has links that drop a bomb on us. A bomb is just our fun name for what you others might call a help desk ticket. And then our team, the bomb squad, defuses the bombs. Get it? Anyway, I love it. I think it's fun. So drop a bomb on us, and there's lots of ways you can do this. You can use the form that opens when you click the B menu. You could send an email to help@bestmacs.com. A lot of people prefer texting. Hey, we dig it. You can send us a text message. Or you can get on a call and call us at our toll-free 866 number. If it's really urgent, and this is the only requirement we have, if it's really urgent, like a company-destroying type of problem, call us by voice. It's the way to ensure that we will get it and process it very, very quickly in terms of our SLA. We triage bombs based on the impact to the company. So the really urgent stuff gets attention quickly, guaranteed within the hour, usually a heck of a lot faster than that. On the other end of the spectrum, minor annoyances, they might wait a day or two. But in reality, most things are going to get same-day responses. We try to staff our help desk to make sure that people aren't waiting, because nobody wants to wait and deal with a technology problem. We encourage people to send in bombs as soon as they experience them. A lot of people will keep a notepad at their computer and save up a bunch of stuff for when the repairman comes. We think that's a horrible experience. So we don't want you to have to wait for that to happen. But what do we do when there's not any bombs? Well, that's, again, where we go back to the best plan. So let's talk about that. So what are we doing to earn the monthly check and earn your business every month? I feel like a lot of managed services providers kind of sell you a subscription and then they coast. I don't like that. I feel like we need to be delivering value. So how do we do this? Well, we just talked about dropping bombs. You saw the best plan. That sets our roadmap for technology. And as much as I'd love to green all that up instantly, there's no magic wand for that. It's just going to take time and prioritization to get done. Other ways we get stuff, we have an alerting system. We install an early warning monitoring system on all the computers we support that phones home to us about common failure types, backups that aren't working, hard drives that are getting full, things like this. We also team with a couple of different security operations centers. They'll tell us things like, hey, somebody from Russia is trying to log into your Microsoft account. Let's shut that down. Or, hey, there's a piece of ransomware that's trying to get a foothold in this computer. We stopped it. And those teams will respond to that. So there's constant vigilance, constant monitoring going on your systems to make sure we're keeping problems small, fixing them while they're small, staying ahead of those, and staying one step ahead of the bad guys. We also do planned upgrades to your network infrastructure and to servers. We also do patching. And patching or software updates, we want to train your users not to do these. These software updates are always coming up and saying, Hey, there's an available update. You want to install it now? We want them to say no, or better yet, never talk to me about this again, because we'll do it. And our automated system will do it. And all we'll ask of your users is that at the end of a day, maybe a Friday night, you got to go to bed sometime, leave the computer powered on, leave the lid open, but just go up and log it out. And then our system will see they're not working on anything and it's time to go. We'll do active maintenance, we'll keep the software updated, and we'll update the operating systems as well. Again, Mac and Windows. Our systems also will use that same technology to tell us about vulnerabilities that are on the machine, usually as a result of not patching. So we'll report that to you and say, hey, your systems are all fully patched, or hey, we got this user, we kind of need them to log out, something's wrong, can you give us a hand with this? Then we graduate into a much higher tier of thinking. If your best plan is all greened up, then we start looking at what I call virtual CIO type functions. This is the best part. This is when we know your business so well that we can start to look at your workflows and identify ways that technology can improve your business to save you money, maybe even lower headcount, lower costs. Take something that's taking somebody 8 hours to get done and maybe turn it into 1 or 2 hours instead. And there's lots of categories of inefficiencies that we can spot. These things only come with a deep knowledge of your business. And when we've been working together long enough to green up a best plan, we have a good sense of where those inefficiencies are. And we'll talk with you about those. But there's one more thing that we always got to be careful with, and that's cyber. All right, cybersecurity is kind of the hot topic in my industry at this point, and it should be, because there are bad guys out there, cyber criminals, cyber terrorists. Call them hackers if you want, but the bottom line is they're better at computers than you, and they're opportunistic. If they see a chance to get your money, your data, or your reputation in that order, they're going to use it. You'll notice that at BestMacs, cyber is not just an afterthought or just an add-on tool. The days of installing an antivirus and setting up a firewall and being safe, those are long gone. It has to be a fundamental part of everything we do, right down to the very first thing we do, inventory. How can we protect your stuff if we don't know what all your stuff is? If you've got a machine that's not protected, that's a backdoor for the bad guys. And so then from there, we go on to an industry standard checklist. If we green up everything here, then you're a hard target. And some of these, again, we can do without you. Some are going to require your team's participation, and then some are going to be collaborative. But the nice thing is that when a big new prospect for your business, usually they're going to have some sort of requirement in their contract that asks the question, how are you going to protect their data? You can tell them, we've got it on lock. And you know what? They're going to send you a silly little questionnaire about how you're protecting their data, and I'm going to help you with that because we're going to have all those things buttoned up and ready to go. You need compliance like HIPAA, SOC 2. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap there. It's like a Venn diagram. Compliance, cybersecurity, a lot of overlap. And we're going to help you out there too. Okay, you've watched this whole thing. I hope it's been informative. How do you get started? Well, time to turn this into a two-way conversation. I want to learn what's most important to you. Let's see if we're a good fit. If you'd like to see our service agreement, I've attached a copy. It's below. I'm open to your lawyer's suggestions. Go ahead and mark it up, send it back to me, and we'll chat. Our rates are based largely on what we find on the best plan. The more red, the higher the rate. If you want to start there, again, best plan can be done for a one-time fee, no commitment after, and we'll check it out. One thing to know is at BestMacs, we aren't firefighters. We're not the Maytag repairman, but if you really want to see how we interact on a one-time project, reach out. Let's talk about it. Ultimately, I hope this was helpful, and I hope we get to make this an interactive call very soon. Have a great rest of your day.